You want that knit look texture from crochet? A herringbone stitch is the trick. Let's make a cozy wool headband step by step. Grab yarn and hook and let's begin. For this project, we're gonna use super bulky yarn. And here I have Snow Yarn by Drops. Color number is 125 and it's 100% woolen yarn. It's definitely will give that extra warmth and it will be super fluffy. And for my head circumference, I used less than 1 skein of this yarn. And we using a size smaller hook, so 8mm one, because we want that tighter texture, and of course a measuring tape. We will start our project by making a slip knot. So just grab the end of yarn and wrap around your fingers, and then push the working yarn through the loop to create a slip knot. Then tighten it and adjust and put it on your hook. And this is our beginning of the foundation chain, and we will need to chain 9. So yarn over and pull a loop. Yarn over and pull a loop. Again, yarn over and pull a loop. So we are creating our foundation chain like this, easily. Don't make it too tight, and chain until you have 9. So our chain is ready, and we can start row number 1. So we have our foundation chain as usual like this, but we will turn and use the loops at the back, like these little bumps we have at the back. So we will insert the hook right through there. So the first stitch is gonna be a half double crochet, and we will start working in the second stitch from the hook, second loop, but not as usual like that, but turn and insert in this little bump at the back. So insert and grab the yarn. We have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. So this is our first stitch. And now in the next stitch, we're gonna work 1 herringbone single crochet. And how we're gonna do that? So we are linking the stitch with the previous one. So we are working through the loop of the existing stitch like this, through the last loop, and then we are immediately go into the next foundation chain bump. Insert the hook, grab the yarn and pull a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook, and now we are yarning over and pulling through all 3 loops. So the herringbone stitch works linking the previous stitch through the loop, and this creates these diagonal stripes. So now again insert into the stitch, the last loop of the stitch, and now into the next foundation chain. Grab the yarn and pull a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops like this. So we already have 3 stitches done. Now we are placing the next. So grab the loop of the stitch and insert into the next foundation chain. Grab the yarn, pull a loop, 3 loops on the hook, and again yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Insert into the vertical loop of the previous stitch, then into foundation chain, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So now continue until the end of the foundation chain. We finished the first row and we have a total of 8 stitches. So 7 herringbone single crochets and 1 half double crochet we did at the very beginning. So now we are chaining 1 and turning. So this pattern is a 2-row repeat. So now the second row, we will make a reverse stitches. So we need to make the opposite of what we did now. So the first will be the same, the half double crochet. So yarn over and insert into the second loop from the hook. Grab the yarn, pull the loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So this is the first stitch. And now from this point we will do the reversed herringbone single crochets, because we want to create the opposite of those little stripes to create this knitted look of the headband. So we will be working from the back, and I will show you which loops we're gonna pick up. So if you turn like this, we have this tiny loop, like this bottom vertical loop of the previous stitch of the half double crochet we just did. Or if you turn like this, it will be easier for you to see. We are picking up this loop. This loop at the very bottom of the stitch. If you tighten it, you still can see this one. So we will insert through this loop and then into the next stitch. So right now we are turning a little bit so we can see where we are inserting. So insert the hook into the vertical loop of the stitch like that. And now insert the hook through the back as well into the next stitch. So insert into the next stitch like that. Then we are yarning over and pulling a loop. So we have 3 loops on the hook. It seems a bit complicated, but you will get it. And now yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And this is the first reversed herringbone single crochet. And it looks something like this. Let's repeat again, 1 reversed herringbone single crochet. So now inserting into the vertical loop of the previous stitch is much easier because you can see it clearer. So this is the loop we are inserting instead of yarning over. And now insert through the back or into the next stitch like this. Yarn over, pull a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. And now again, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And we have 3 stitches already done. Now continue again. Insert into the bottom vertical stitch of the previous stitch, into the next stitch of the row, like that, through the back. Grab the yarn, pull a loop. We should have 3 loops on the hook. And again, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. It is quite complicated, but as you can see, we are already creating these other side diagonal stripes. So continue. Insert into the existing loop, vertical loop, into the next of the row, yarn over, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and continue until the end of the row. We just finished the second row, and this is what we have. So one side is the wrong side and the other is the good one. So now we will repeat rows 1 to 2 until it fits around your head. So roughly around 33 to 36 rows. All right, so chain 1, turn, and row number 3 is the same as row number 1. So we are making 1 half double crochet in the very first stitch. And now we'll place 7 herringbone single crochets. So we are inserting through the vertical loop of the previous stitch into the next of the row stitch. And then we are grabbing the yarn, pulling a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and repeat. Go through the vertical of the stitch, insert into the next row stitch, yarn over, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. Continue again until you have a total of 7 herringbone single crochets. Now let's double check if we have enough width to cover our ears. So it's roughly around 9 centimeters or 3.5 inches. So it's perfect. And we can carry on making the rows. Chain 1 and turn the project. Row number 4 is the same as row number 2. So the first stitch is half double crochet. So let's place that. And now the next stitches will be the reversed herringbone single crochets. So we are picking up the vertical loop from the previous stitch of the back, inserting into the next row stitch from the back, yarning over, pulling a loop, 3 loops on the hook, and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And continue like this until you finish the row. This is how our project is looking roughly halfway there. So we still need to make a few rows to fit around our head. Here it is. I just finished crocheting the rows, and this is what our project is looking at the moment. And I did a total of 33 rows for my head size circumference of 56 centimeters. So if you have a slightly larger head, you can make a few rows more. So it's totally adjustable. So a total length at the moment of my headband is around 50 centimeters, 19.7 inches. So it stretches, don't forget that. So don't make it too big. Test it on your head. And now for the connection, we're gonna fold it in half and make sure that your good side is inside and wrong facing you. So before working the connection, we need to chain 1. I already did it here. And turn. So the last row would be closer to you and the foundation chain further from you. and we will join using a slip stitch. And now we're gonna pick up. So from the last row, we're gonna go in the middle of the stitch and pick up the front loop, and we're gonna take the back loop of the foundation chain of the parallel stitch. So the first stitch through the front and then through the back loop, and finish with a slip stitch like this. Let's continue once again. Grab the front loop of the last row and then go pick up the back loop of the foundation chain row and make a slip stitch. Again, go in the middle and pick up the front parallel back loop and make a slip stitch, and go like this until you connect all 8 stitches. You can definitely choose another connection method if you prefer, for example, sewing. But this is how our seam is looking after using slip stitch for connection. And basically, you can stop right there if you like it already. But there is another step. We're gonna make the edge. I like this clean, extra clean look with edge. So I will show you how I am doing it now. So I keep my yarn and I didn't cut it. So now we're gonna start with a chain 1, and I will place 1 slip stitch for each row. So on top of each row, just grabbing the one of the top loops and making a slip stitch. And this will create a very nice horizontal edge around our headband. And please make tall loops because our rows are pretty high, and otherwise it will mess up with the stretchiness of our headband. So please make it tall. And now just place 1 slip stitch on top of each row. So just locate the row and grab the very top loop and make a slip stitch. Repeat again. Locate the row, grab the top loop and make a slip stitch. And continue until you finish all the way until the end. I just reached the seam, so it means it is the last slip stitch. And now we will need to connect with the beginning of the edge. So we will make an invisible join to make it very seamless. So we're gonna make a tall loop and cut the yarn so we have a few inches to work with. And now take out the loop like that, and we will create a fake looking stitch into the chain 1 stitch. So this will create a very seamless look. So now just insert into the chain 1 with the hook and grab the yarn like this and pull it through the stitch all the way. And now that end of the yarn, we will come back into the very last stitch. So insert in the middle of the stitch now, Again, I will show you one more. So insert into the middle of the stitch, of the last stitch, grab the yarn and pull it through. And here it is. As you can see, basically you're now unable to see where we've started and where we finished because it created a perfect V shape of a stitch. And as you can see, we have still some stretchiness for our headband. And to secure our end, we're gonna weave it in and make a few knots to secure. Of course, we have two sides of headband, so we need to repeat this same process all over again for the other edge. So just attach the yarn anywhere at the beginning of the seam, for example. I am making a slip knot and attaching the loop like that, making chain of 1, and continue placing 1 slip stitch for each of the row. So on top of each row, place 1 slip stitch. Again, make sure your slip stitches are pretty tall to cover the whole row area. And after making the edge, the very last step is to weave in all the loose yarn ends you made throughout the project. Make knots, cut them very close, and the headband will be almost finished. After fixing all the yarn ends, your headband is finally finished. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and this knit look herringbone stitch. I hope this headband will keep you warm, and thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next ones. Bye!